So we're going to see two versions of John Smith, and it's going to be fun. This is the only other resume assassination we'll do tonight. This is a friend of the stream. And this friend went to Carnegie Mellon, so, that's where I went. So we got to give this friend a little bit of love. In his anonymized version, he says superb university, but I saw the original, and it's Carnegie Mellon, so I got to dock him a little bit. That word could have been stronger, like the university, the best university, better than the amazing university, which I admit is MIT. All right, I know how you roll. But anyway, fabulous schools. What is the policy for resume review? Oh, that's a good question, Evader110. Join our Discord. Go. So the first policy is watch some of the videos we've done on resume review, and don't send me a completely shit resume unless you really want to tear down. Go to our Discord and drop your resume in our community resume review channel, and I'll pick some of them. No guarantees yours will be picked, but eventually, right now, I don't have any in queue except Awesome. And Awesome will do on Cinco de Mayo for our next show. Anyway, he went to Carnegie Mellon, which I got to honor, so we're going to try and help out. So name, address, contact info, that's great. I coached on the early version, add an objective, so he stuck it in the summary. And I probably because I gave some coaching, I'm going to like the objective. So seeking a leadership role. And by the way, chat, bag on it, compliment it. This is where you help me help him. Imagine you were reading this. Would you be interested? Seeking a leadership role where I can apply my machine learning ability, proven at Anytown University, to deliver disruptive real-world innovation while teaming with internal business partners and outside collaborators. Pretty good. I'd love for it to be a little more concrete, but that's hard. Specifically, I'd like to somehow scope or make the disruptive real-world innovation more concrete. That's, somebody, Monte Carlo, who loves me to assassinate, says too general. It's tough to have an objective be specific. I want to make the machines learn for themselves. Possibly. However, this is generally the right format, I think, for a given company, or if you have a real interest. Try and scope somehow that disruptive real-world innovation, and maybe you can drop off some of the teaming with business partners and outside collaborators. That's kind of, it ends a little too feel-good. I'd want more specific and less feel-good. But otherwise, you've put in an objective. And at least what's clear is you want a leadership role where you can apply machine learning ability proven at Anytown University. You maybe could just put a period right there if you don't know what to add that's specific after that. All right, then there's some summary stuff, 20 journal papers, established and financed a lab of 5 researchers and more than $1 million, demonstrated talent development at various universities, patents with industry partners. Now we get to the facts. Currently, Mr. Smarty Pants is an assistant professor at Anytown University, and it's actually a pretty good university. So it's not Anytown Lame University, it's Anytown Known University, which is a strong start. Mr. Smarty Pants has realized that there's a lot more money to be made out in the real world and would like to go to the real world. And or, being more kind, because I haven't met Mr. Smarty Pants, Mr. Smarty Pants has realized that academia is slow and boring and you can have a lot more fun out here in the world. Plus, since he'll only be teaching distance learning classes from now until the end of time, he can do that from anywhere. So why not get paid? Principal investigator. Good title. This is a good way to say I actually did some stuff and I lead a research group. Okay. Led 3 externally funded research projects, so that's good. It's leading multiple things. It's pointing out you got them funded. Produced patents in collaboration with Megacorp. That's strong. Um, am I being a little hard on academia? I promised you guys a rant. I tweeted out that this would be rants, so I've got to stay edgy tonight. Dome Kang is bitter and jaded and says it deserves to die. Maybe. I love my university. I got a lot out of it. It was a lot of damn money. So I made my best friends there. That's what I value even more than anything. But it is very expensive. And so I think university is going to change a lot in the future. And they know it. And by the way, they are scared shitless. I have a few connections into and I read a lot about what academia is thinking, and they're worried. They're worried that people are going to realize, I don't need you, and I don't need your $200,000 a year tuition bill. Okay, let's finish tearing this one down. So before he was a professor, he was a postdoc somewhere else, awarded competitive postdoc fellowship. I had him reword this. It wasn't as clear. So he calls out, hey, I'm so smart that even though I have a doctorate, I then got a fellowship that's only given to 10% of doctorates. And that's cool. When you're in this world, the ML world is basically about who has the biggest brain. And so a little bit of brain waving, so to speak, is fine. And so I think this is cool. Develop new fast optimization algorithms and automated techniques for solving inverse problems in machine learning. Wow, that sounds like, who doesn't want to hire that? And so, Mr. Smarty Pants, I know you're listening. There's about 50 teams at Amazon who'd want to hire you. You should just come to here or not. They'll let you work from wherever you are. Although I wouldn't want to live where you are. Just saying. There's so many nicer places, and I have lived there, generally speaking. I have lived in your state. Oh, wow, we get it. We got to... There's some people getting ready for a beer pong competition. That might have to be a live meeting. I live in Seattle. I just don't live there now. I've lived where this guy lives. And there's better spots. Okay. Let's see. He interned a few places. I think that's fine to put on this resume. I wouldn't take up a ton of space with it because, my God, you're an MIT PhD who then has worked at all these other places. Like, where you interned, it's interesting, but, like, I don't know. You've used the maximum space on it I would put into it. Skills and training. I wonder a little bit how skills and training is going to vary from summary. I'd make sure you're getting distinct value. But looking at it, it looks pretty good. Although I would say reviewing grants for federal and grant agencies is kind of Hey, I'm a gopher. I'm an assistant. I'm junior. I get saddled with the shit work. I don't know. I'd try for something stronger. And you're not going to get hired for your grant reviewing. Like, that's a great thing if you want to swap universities again. Consulted is good. Yes. Korean American barbecue. Nicely done. And chat, chime in. What else? I see that people like me ripping on academia, by the way. Look, higher learning, if you get the right things out of it, is incredible. All right, we're going to do his second page here real quick. He wrote a bunch of papers, and so he's citing all his really good papers. He had to anonymize them because if you put the paper in and you Google all 6 papers, there's only going to be one name in common. It's going to be the person, and we don't show people's stuff on screen. But assume he wrote a bunch of prestigious papers. That's cool. Again, he's applying for a 5-head leadership job. I personally, though, would list my publications below my education. And the reason is you got to hook me first before I care about your papers. And you got to hook the recruiter before you can get to the hiring manager. So the hiring manager of a director of machine learning at a place like ours is going to want to know about your papers. But the PhD at MIT talks awfully loudly, and I'd want to kind of say that up front. And then, of course, we do know that you went to the best undergraduate program on earth. And so congratulations on that. Here's to you. Okay, maybe not really, but I enjoyed it. And then professional service, you did a bunch of stuff. It's good resume fodder. It rounds you out a little. The one thing you could consider, given that you have some space, and I know even when you refill out a little bit, you might have a little bit of space, consider something that humanizes you. Consider a hobby, a cultural activity, anything that makes you a person. Because right now, you seem like only a brain. And while you're applying for only a brain jobs, yes, charity work, same thing. It would be nice maybe to have a little of that. It's an optional and it's not the most important thing, but just showing a little bit of humanity, interested in, basket weaving, trying to figure out how to use Estes model rocket engines to launch a lightweight satellite to geosynchronous orbit. Those are, my passions include drinking. There you go. Something.